My name is Rosena Jordan. I'm INTO President for 2016-17. The reason we're here today is to secure more funding for primary schools, and we're meeting with our local elected representatives. The first issue for us is to have pay equality. For teachers who've come in since 2011, they have lost over €100,000 over their 40-year teaching career. Our next thing is class size. We want lower class sizes. The EU average is 20, we're up at 25. Every 1 in 4 pupils are in a class of 30 or more. That is way too much. We want to restore the lost posts of responsibility to our schools, and we want to have more release time for teaching principals. 60% of our principals are teaching principals, the rest are in admin. We also want equal funding for our principals. They lost out on an award, benchmarking award. We want that restored. Our final two things are to increase funding for teachers' professional development. That is a core attribute for teachers, and we should have access to it. And our final thing is to fully fund primary schools. We want ourselves equalised with second level. At present, we get €8 for every €16 that they get.
The INTO is here today with a number of key messages for our elected representatives, many of whom are new. Our first key message is we want to see a reduction in class size. I think everybody now fully understands that we have by far the largest class sizes in Europe. We want a commitment from government. They have mentioned it in the programme for government to begin to reduce that year in, and so that we will get to a realistic class size level. Second thing we want to see is support for school leaders. Our school principals have been stretched beyond belief in terms of doing their work. We want to see promoted post returns so that they can delegate responsibilities. We want to see support for teaching principals who, in addition to teaching all day long, have to carry out their administrative duties. And we want to see a restoration of a pay award given to them in 2007 and never actually paid. The issue of pay equality has been a prominent one for the INTO over the last year. We were very pleased to see significant progress made on that in the month of September with the restoration of allowances. The case is not yet complete, and we will continue to advocate until all our newly qualified teachers, when they're beginning the profession, will be paid as teachers were prior to 2011. And we will be asking our elected representatives to commit themselves to the final phase of restoration for pay equality. In addition to that, we want to see funding for our schools improved. The programme for government sets out a 3-year commitment. We want to see, will that be realised? We will challenge government to make sure capitation is increased year on year for the next 3 years. And then finally, we want to see support for teachers upskilling. Everybody recognises that teachers over their lifetime need to be supported to make sure that their teaching is fully up to date, and we want some support financially from government to support teachers' continued professional development.